Okay. The reason I chose this tree is because, in a general sense, it's not an ideal. It's not easy. It's a difficult tree. It's a hurtful tree. But the primary reason that we chose this is because it's going to mimic a sparring partner. Okay, so here's the body and here's the limbs, and in this exercise I want to deal with the limbs, and I want to be able to come in and close the distance, or do some kind of takedown, or give myself an option for a takedown by navigating my opponent's limbs. And I want to rotate. I want to do some kind of rotation away from it. So you could see how that's going to mimic that behavior. So not only do we want to come low and maybe go under the area, under the movement or the thrust forward that's being presented to us. Not only do we want to come under, but we want to also go to the side on this drill as well. So giving us an extra advantage and taking us off line and on a different angle, and creating all kinds of other precedents as well. It's around 30 degrees Celsius, so that puts us about close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 30 degrees or above or higher. So I'm reckoning we're approaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Not bad, I'm used to it. So, but the hotter that it gets, the more tempting it is to come out and practice and stuff, because the heat adds to the extreme, adds to the challenge. So anyway, one of the things that I wanted to get into some details here about, okay, is when we're getting in close. All right? When we're getting in close, we have an option, all right, to have the legs open and to come in, and so basically we're getting that double. We're getting two locks, okay. But this can go either way. There's no right and wrong, and depending on what you want to do. It's depending on what you have. Maybe you jump into this position because you can do that the fastest in your reflex and decision, and you can transition to something faster, as opposed to something a little bit more complicated where, it might be a benefit to you, but it might take you longer to actually work it out and stuff. So, and of course that comes with training and practice. But in this particular here, okay, one of the things that I want to do in the practice that I'll be talking about here is I want to use the leg as a sort of shield, as a sort of barrier, and I've talked about that before. Okay, so I've talked about getting the leg in the movement. Now, one of the reasons that I like this move is because, let's say you're having the open, okay, the U or the V, and you're jockeying for position, or you fall, okay. So now, right? So now you're in the guard, and that's cool. That's fine, right? But they're coming forward on you, and if you're doing just wrestling, then fine. You got all sorts of cool things that you might want to, play with over here. If you're doing grappling, if you're practicing, or if we're thinking in terms of grappling, we're thinking in terms of also being able to strike. Okay? In this position, this could be I mean, there's things you can do, but in this position now, your opponent can strike you, and they have the force of that gravity as well to come down and stuff. So in this particular case, if you're dealing with striking and your opponent is in this position, okay, they're going to want to hit you with elbows. They want to ground and pound. It's a good spot for them to ground and pound, and you're going to want to try to neutralize that, jam that, okay, or wait for the commitment. There's heaps of options and stuff, and I not necessarily want to go into that, but we're here, so yeah. So you might want to wait for that strike to come, and then tie it up if you can. Tie it up. But my thing is, I want to practice. Okay, I want to practice getting this in as the shield. Okay, now yeah, you can be jammed in this. Okay, but it's interesting to work out of. I like to practice it, and it's sort of creating a barrier. It's sort of creating this extra. You can see it. You can see it. It's sort of creating this extra layer extra level between you and the opponent. But what I like about it also is similar to this, but this would be you're going to slip even if you do get a shove off, okay? But similar to this, okay, if I was to be completely grabbed, okay, I have a leverage here. So in this case over here, right, this is one of your big leverages for helping you. Okay? See, you're using that force to help you come up. Right? But if I was to try to resist or go elsewhere, okay, this has to be inverted at the very least, or this has to be, okay, but the point is I'm now using these areas for my opponent as well, and I'm trying to push on that force and get out. Okay? So the cool thing is I can engage, all right? I can engage here now, and now let's say the distance is closer. I could stay at that distance right there, but let's say the distance is closer now. I have all of this relationship, this barrier as the force. Now it's nice root here. It's extremely painful, and the demonstration a little bit cut me some slack, but it's a lot more leverage than it might look right now. But excuse me if I don't want to 100% be scrapping, okay?